Well, we're delighted to be joined by the England head coach, Shaun Wane, ahead of the Ashes. Shaun, we had a chat at the Man of Steel dinner. I've never seen a man more excited for a test series than you were.
Yeah, it's a dream for me, John. You know, I've lived my life and I've had some really, really good experiences winning things with my own turn club and winning series for my country. And I'm a very patriotic man, and the chance to play against the best team in the world. And I was brought up as a kid with games against Australia, and the chance. I never thought I would get in this position, but the chance I've got to coach a team against Australia in the Ashes is. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, these tournaments mean a lot, don't they? These competitions, the Ashes is such an iconic part of rugby league. How important are they for establishing patriotism in communities, in fans, in players? Series like this carry some importance, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about that. And I know where I live in Wigan, it's a lot of very, very proud English people and British people in that town, and it's the same all over. Where we play rugby league, and the chance to fly the flag and pick a good team, what can hopefully can beat Australia and give us something to be proud of.
Right, so let's talk about maybe the most difficult thing you've got to do. You're not with these players every day, Shaun. You're not around them every day. I know you're very much in contact with everybody. But let's talk about the squad. How difficult is it whittling that number down or getting the right balance in there?
Yeah, that's been. I'm not exaggerating. I've been awake every day for the last 3 weeks. It's about 4:30
every day.
just on my mind about who and how and the weather conditions and what side does he kick off and all them sort of details of getting the right blend of 24 players and when the squad's announced, some will agree, some won't agree. I'm not that bothered, but I believe I've got a really good blend of players who can not just win a test, hopefully, but can really perform well for 3 tests, and that's the balance. John, how hard it is. It's play 1 test, but you get loads of injuries. Then you're making changes, and then you've got lots of injuries again. Then you've got a 3rd test. So making sure that you've got a good blend and you can turn out a really good team in that last test, that might be the decider. And so giving all that thought and coming up with 24 players is very, very tough.
And you've said you've had sleepless nights and you've been up early. What's the one name that isn't in the squad? Before we move on, because this chatter will happen, won't it, about who's not in. I want to just focus on who's in and why they're in. But what's the one name that kept you up at night that's really unlucky to miss out?
There's quite a few. Like Brad O'Neill has played really well, but not to the level of detail what I needed for these test matches. He's a good kid, defends well, and you're just trying to imagine how he's going to go in the early stages of the game and what he can give me. And then there's Danny Walker and there's Daz Clark and Jez Layton and all them sort of players. We're blessed at 9, and I'm trying to find out who's going to give us the best 3 tests, and I have to pick 2 of the best, and that's been difficult. But there's been other positions as well, in the centres, and it's been tough, But I'm glad I've got Lee and Andy Last and Sam Tompkins, and we've bunched ideas. They're all very smart rugby league men, all with different ideas. But we believe we come up with the 24 the best.
So on those calls, Wayne, so obviously you call around the lads who are in. Are they difficult calls for the lads who aren't, or do you make those calls?
Yeah. I come in yesterday in the hotel, and it's a day I weren't looking forward to. It's all right ringing Al saying you're in, and other players.
He was delighted with that.
I'm ringing people. He was delighted.
Mate, I'm still delighted, mate. Honestly, I was buzzing. I was absolutely buzzing. I still am.
Yeah, I could tell, and so was I, that he accepted. But I'm making calls to lads who are rated very, very highly, and they're not in, and it's tough because people like Danny Walker, I've known him for many years, and I rate him very, very highly. And he's not. When I said to him yesterday, you're not that far off. It's very, very, very close, and whether he's in a tough spot, when I'm delivering bad news. And it wasn't an enjoyable day today. It was ringing all the good news, but when the bad news outweighs it, it really hurt me, some of them calls. But I have to say, some of the responses from the players who were disappointed was, I nearly swore then, was absolutely outstanding. And I'd love for you to hear them one day. And it shows you the passion and still that belief and that want for us to win this series, even from lads what are not in the squad, are not picked in this 24. And one day, I hope you can hear that, because I taped them all, and it's just very, very warming.
Al, what was the call like? Give us a Shaun Wane you're in call. How did that sound?
Mate, when you see Wayne's name come up on your phone, there's a little bit of fear. But excitement as well. And my middle lad, Cassius, he's rugby obsessed. My eldest isn't too much. But Cassius is upset. He's been asking me all week when I'm going to find out. And when Wayne rung me, it's been a long time since I've been that excited to play rugby again. So to have Wayne call me and give me that good news was, we were probably on a phone call for about 2 minutes, if that. It was such a short conversation, but obviously he let me know, and being able then to tell Cassius, the first person I told, was such a nice moment. And he got upset. He's only 6, and he got welled up a little bit. So those kind of feelings is something where that honour and that pride to be able to tell someone who cares so much about me and who I care about, and see their face as much as it means to me was it was a real nice moment.
Yeah, I think England and being picked for your country is just such a massive thing. And we play club rugby and we play big games in club rugby, Wayne, but that sense of playing for your country takes that feeling to a different level, doesn't it? A different level of pride that you carry with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Al's played in grand finals, and he's played in Wigan and Saints derbies, and you have, John, as well. But nothing compares to international. It's another 4 or 5 levels up in intensity, and things going wrong. You just cannot. It cannot happen, and so the pressure is unbelievably high. But what that gives you is such a good feeling when you get a victory. And when we beat Tonga and Samoa, like a team on paper, what probably better than us, but that belief, what English people have, that grit, what we have, no other country has. So with that, coupled with how proud the players were to represent our country, with that toughness and grit, what English people have, is there's not many countries that can get near us.
Have you got a starting 13 in mind, Wayne?
Yeah, I have. Started 17. And it's a good team, Matt. I'll tell you that now.
Is there any chance we're going to get that out of you today?
No.
It's worth a try. Just on the squad, and look, there's 24 names here. The lads who are missing out, is there an opportunity for some of them to come in? Let's say there is a bad injury, a couple of bad injuries. Have you got a standby squad, train-on squad that you could pull in from?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, all them players, what was in the squad when I rang yesterday, and some really, really disappointed play, but like I said, they're still behind us and want to be involved. And they're all welcome to come in here. If we don't have any injuries, the part of us, they come in for a brew and have a feed with the players, and they're always welcome. They know that. But if there's a bad injury, then we can call on them players. And I just know that they're going to jump at the chance to join us as a squad. So we're in a good place. We're in a really good place. They're going to be really well prepared. We've nailed every detail, and I just can't wait for the trip down to London and get ready for that Wembley test.
We do well against Australia at Wembley, Scully, don't we? That's been a good place for us over the years.
It certainly has, and I think I think there should be a great atmosphere as well down there. When you mentioned then the strength of the opposition sides on paper. Obviously, you've seen the Australian squad. It's a fair old team. How do we make a statement at Wembley? What do you need from them England boys to kick that series off with a bang?
Yeah, we need to start well. Our physicality needs to be good, and this is a different challenge because we've gone from Tonga and Samoa were the big men, the big chest, hard to handle. And now we're playing against a team who's very similar built to us, so it's a different task defensively. But me and the staff believe we've got things what we can deliver, what's going to hopefully destabilise Australia, how they do things, how they defend, how they attack, and hopefully we've got things what can just change how they play and defend but we found out at Wembley, our start is massive. We need to make sure, and I'm talking not about really over technical things. I mean, we're getting to the end of our sets, but not just simple run to me half. I mean, playing, but our skill needs to be nailed. Get to our kick and our defence, and making sure there's no penalties and they don't get any legs out to their end. And they have to earn the right to get everything. We need to do that for long periods because that's what Australia do. They're used to the grind in the NRL, but we're England. We do things different. We're not an NRL team. So, I'm very, very proud about how we play and what we're about in Super League. And hopefully that difference will really test Australia.
Yeah, just looking at the Australian team, the axis of their team in Yeo, in Cleary, and whether it's Reece Walsh or Dylan Edwards, that spine, just backing up what you're saying about Samoa and Tonga, is going to be a different challenge, Wane, to what you've faced in the last couple of winters.
Absolutely. I watch lots of the NRL. They're class. They're a really, really good team. And you look at the cap, what they have in the NRL and the cap we have, it's very different. It's very different. But when it comes to 13 on 13 on Wembley, there's no mention of the cap then. What the salary cap is, it's 13 against proud Englishmen going against 13 Aussies. And it's who wants it the most. And I know from the meetings what we've had, the off-feet meetings, the desire and to do something different, to be in the history books forever is really high. Not just off me, but the belief in the players and the need to make sure that they're going to be mentioned in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years that, we was the team. And that desire is so strong, it's untrue.
Well, I think something's going in our favour. It's England, 1. It's October, 2. It's getting dark at 4 p.m. now. The game's refereed a lot differently over here. Wayne, I'd had a few beers, granted, but at the Man of Steel dinner, I came and made a prediction to you, didn't I? Said game 1, it's going to be wet, it's going to be cold, we're going to catch them off guard. Game 2, they're just going to get up to speed, but the game's going to be done at half time. Series wrapped up, 1.5 games in. Wayne, are you having it?
Oh, I'd love it. I'd absolutely love that. Whether it pans out that way is a different thing, but oh my God, that would be so satisfying having a cigar after that second test and relaxing. So good.
Well, we look forward to seeing that, Wayne. Give us a glimpse into that final minute or two before you go out. What sort of emotions are you going to try and leverage out your team at Wembley? The start of the Ashes, just an iconic, I'd say iconic moment in our sport, but for you and your career as well. Is that going to be meticulously planned, or is it just going to come from the heart?
No, I'm going to be honest with you here, John. We're going to be, it's going to be very emotive, this game. We're travelling down on the train and in a great hotel. There's going to be a message to the players that this is an important game. They don't need me to get them more emotional. But in my last game with Wigan in the grand final, my message to the players was, this is a game of rugby. It's going to be important at the end, after 80 minutes. And we need to go through the process, and we know how to win this game. There's a really, really detailed game plan. We deliver that. and we will win, and then we can celebrate like it's like I can't imagine how good the celebration's going to be. But it's just being in charge of your emotions and delivering. It's a game of rugby. Al Walmsley has played hundreds and hundreds from being 5 or 6 years old of games of rugby, and he's really good at it. It's another game of rugby. It's important to the end. Just deliver the process, and the outcome will look after itself.
Yeah. Big Al was asking if you wanted him to do an Adrian Morley in 2003 with Wane. He said he's willing to.
I was just going to say to Wane, don't pump him up so much.
Yeah.
As if I'm not grey enough. I don't need any more of them.
No. Well, we wish you all the best, Shaun, for the Test series, for the Ashes, a landmark moment for our country, for our rugby league team, for you and your group of men. We just wish you all the best.